Hi guys, this is just going to be a quick video walking you through some of the beginning parts of the SOP. These slides that I'm going to be sharing with you guys, by the way, throughout this video is already going to be given to you. So feel free, if you learn better through like a booklet or a slide deck, feel free to just directly look at that instead. But for everyone that also likes to have a video component as well, this would be a perfect place for you guys to watch this. Also, for everyone that is going to be doing the SOP education, there's also a quiz afterwards that we would like you to take. It's really short, I think only about 6 or 7 questions, and they're all pretty simple. We just wanted to make sure that you guys are grasping the main components of the SOP education. So let's just go ahead and get started. So I'm now going to show you guys my screen, and this is the booklet, like I said, that you guys are also going to be having access to. So feel free to look at this separately. Or follow along with me if you would like to. And like I said, we're just going to be giving context to the SOPs, and so we're just breaking them down and translating them to what they actually mean for daily life or in a daily routine. So what's going to be inside this booklet? First, we're going to have a quick explanation of what exactly is an SOP, what is the difference for VP marketings versus marketing directors, because there is a difference. But then also why exactly are the SOPs important? And then we're going to do a quick breakdown. So we're viewing primarily right now the first 3 phases of the SOP because that's what's relevant currently to everyone. And then the later phases is something you guys can look at separately or whenever you're in your own time. If you have any questions about the later phases, once again, feel free to reach out to either me or Angela and we can go over that with you. But the phases we are going to be covering is firstly pre-attraction, the first phase, and then attraction, and then finally consideration. So you might be thinking, what exactly is an SOP? Well, an SOP is sort of just standard operating procedure, and in terms of marketing, just really think of it as a checklist of all the sort of standard tasks that should be happening within the marketing function. It really identifies whether or not you are meeting the requirements or responsibilities within your job description. So SOPs for a VP marketing. This might look familiar if you went to WNC because a small part is taken directly from that. So this sort of hopefully just be a refresher. So there is 6 phases of the SOP in total, and that includes pre-attraction, attraction, consideration, preparation, experience, and post-experience. Once again, in this video, we're just going to be talking about the first 3 phases at the very top. But the other 3 will be more important later on as we get farther into the semester. So this is what it is for a VP marketing. However, there is a difference for the marketing directors. So as a marketing director, your only focus is going to be on the attraction portion of the SOP. So that is the focus for a marketing director, whereas for a VP marketing, you are responsible for all 6 categories. So now moving forward, you might think, hey, this looks familiar. I've seen these phases before. Well, that's because it's taken from the customer flow. So attraction, consideration, preparation, experience, post-experience, that is all literally from the customer flow. And now we are just putting in the context of what exactly that means for a marketing responsible. So why exactly are the SOPs important? Well, the SOPs give context for how marketing responsible affects the different stages of the customer flow. And it really provides clarity for what exactly the responsibilities there are outside of just the stereotypical marketing. So the SOPs more clearly ensures that a marketing responsible is supporting operations to the best of our ability. Because that is the big part of marketing, is being able to support operations. They need us to support them, and we need them in order to achieve our metrics of success. So now talking about the breakdown of the SOPs. First, there's 6 categories like we talked about: pre-attraction, attraction, etc. And then it's broken down into subcategories. So those were the bullet points that you saw underneath every single phase. And the amount of differs per category. So for example, pre-attraction has a lot of bullet points underneath it, whereas I believe experience later on only has maybe 1 or 2 subcategories below it. And then finally, underneath each of those, there is task statements where you'll sort of just have it's sort of like a checklist. Like I said earlier, we'll sort of check yes or no, whether or not you have done the task. So for example, the category would be a pre-attraction, the subcategory would be analysis, And then the task statement will be like, I did a competitor analysis. And since we're not going to be going through the entire SOP, feel free to look at it in its entirety at this link, isaacusorg/marketing-SOPs. So what do I do? Well, your goal as a marketing responsible is to be able to check off every single part of the SOP that relates to you. And if you can do that, that's first off really awesome, and it really shows that you're actually fulfilling what your job description is. So pre-extraction. So I'm not going to spend a ton of time going in depth into these 3 phases since the booklet will be available to you guys afterwards, but I'll just sort of give you guys an overview of what exactly each of the phases mean. So for pre-extraction, this is really the foundation that you need before your LC can be thriving within marketing. So this is everything that you guys have already done before your terms even started. So you might be thinking, what is pre-extraction? This is really what helps us to get our customers from stranger to applied. So it's the analysis, the research, and the understanding that you really need to have about your specific customers before you can continue to actually start marketing to them. So these are just some of the categories. So we have analysis first off, and then resources, and you can see the task statements that is below each of them. Once again, these are all things that were actually covered at W&C, or hopefully should have been covered in your transition as well with your predecessor. But if you have any questions about this, feel free to go to the W&C output for more guidance, or also once again, reach out to me or Angela. And then there's also more categories. So next we have strategy creation and reporting system. And once again, there's task statements below each of these, and they were also covered at W&C. And then finally, we have goal and education. So more task statements that were also covered at W&C. And by the way, this W&C output also has a direct link to the W&C outputs. So if you're going through the booklets, you can just click on that and it'll take you directly there for the emoji extracts. Next, we have attraction. So right now, this is going to be one of the primary focuses for VP marketing. And once again, it is always the focus for a marketing director. So there is a difference. So attraction is broken down to a few categories as well. So first we have offline attraction. So this is such things as making sure that all physical marketing activities are actually being targeted to our customers, which you talked a lot about, of course. And also just making sure that the marketing activities are being executed with synergy, because we, of course, love synergy here in Isaac. And then there's also, of course, more things for offline attraction, since that is a large majority of what we do within Isaac in terms of marketing. And a lot of this is also synergy based as well. As you can see, all signups are being contacted by OGX in less than 24 hours. So marketing is not directly the one that is going to be doing that contacting, but that synergy needs to be had between marketing and OGX to really make sure that it happens. And that, for example, is something that really needs to be a non-negotiable. And another important thing to highlight here is that all interested people need to be signing up directly on isaacus.org. So in the past, we always just used isaac.org. There was never a US there. However, the isaacus.org website actually shows all of our partner country opportunities, which makes it so we don't have random EPs applying to random countries that we're not working with. So that we're trying to really make sure that limits the chances of that happening again. So really make sure that you and your entire LC is using isaacus.org. And then we also have some online attraction, of course. So, having members share the Facebook post and Instagram post of IsaacUS, and also having targeted advertisements. And then there's also product tracking as a subcategory. So, of course, there's tracking, which I'm sure you guys are getting used to now in terms of marketing calendar, tracking what your plan was, what your actual was, so on and so forth. And then next we have consideration. So this is going to be the second focus right now for a VP marketing currently, as of course we want all of our EPs to be converting, and this is really the start of that conversion process. So the first part of consideration is message alignment. And this is something that we've also talked a little about at W&C, and since W&C, it's really making sure that your customers are getting a message that is actually consistent throughout the entire customer flow, and that message is the same no matter who exactly they are talking to, because you don't want one member saying one thing and then an EP for some reason moving to another EPM or talking to a VP or something like that and getting different messages from all of them, because then they're just going to get confused and they might feel frustrated and drop outside the customer flow. And then there's also conversion rate optimization, and this is something that is continuous for the rest of the SOP. And it's really, once again, just really big on synergy here. You can see me and the VPOGX, me and the VPOGX, me and the VPOGX. So obviously there's a lot of synergy happening, especially within this consideration part of the SOP. And so finally, for consideration is also product tracking. So really just, once again, like I said earlier, tracking signups, opens, applied, conversion rates, all of that type of stuff. And it's also really important to note that this is your main measure of success as a VP, meaning that if you don't achieve your goal in this, you didn't really succeed within your role. Once again, that's for signups to applied, conversion rates. And the national average for summer peak is only 19% for total signups to total applied. So really making sure that you are really putting focus on this. So just more tracking once again. So that is the end of the first 3 parts of the SOP that we're going to be focusing on now. Once again, you can always go to the entire booklet to see the entire SOP, but right now this is where your primary focuses should be. So what exactly do you do with this knowledge? Well, the SOPs are an outline of your responsibilities as a marketing responsible, so you really need to review them frequently. This isn't just something that you can look at the beginning of your term and the end of your term. It's something that you should be looking at periodically throughout your term. As well as if you're facing any type of challenges or you're not achieving your goals, this is also the perfect chance to go back to the SOP and see if there's possibly something missing outside of your routine that is covered in the SOP. And it's also a really good thing to send to your EB if maybe they're confused by your responsibilities or what exactly VP marketing does. You can also send the SOP so they can get a very much more clear idea of all the amazing things you guys are working on. So that is the end of this video. Now, hopefully everyone can take this education moving forward and have a really great term. So bye guys.